What's good, everyone? It's Oscar here. Welcome back to GeoGuessr Explained. Today we're doing some more of the GeoGuessr play along. Now I'll have the links for today's games and tomorrow's games in the description, so you can go ahead and play them and then watch how I do in comparison to you. And hopefully that's probably a good way to learn because you can see what I see in comparison to what you saw. But anyway, let's get straight into Diverse World here today, which is on no moving, and let's see what we're able to glean here from the round. So immediately, white road lines is what I'm noticing here, and a green rolling landscape. As I always say, white road lines, more Europe. So let's take a look around here and try and work out what side of the road we're actually driving on here, because I feel like this might actually be a left-hand drive country. Let's see here. Language is not quite legible. This style of signage with like the white arrow there almost feels like a bit Irish to me. But these long white road lines and the white solid outer lines remind me more of like UK or France. So that's my thought at the moment. Probably UK. I've got hedgerows on the side of the road here. That would definitely denote like UK, France. Occasionally Poland or other countries. Yeah, definitely Ireland has it as well. But yeah. Oh yeah, these are definitely like English style of signs or Irish, one of the two. So yeah, definitely liking that. Yellow sticker on the pole is also the British style, I would say. So I'm fairly confident about Britain now. I guess like Wales could fit here for sure, just because it's like a rolling landscape, the white flowers as well. I kind of like that, but it could be further north as well, or even further south. So let's just go middle of Wales, and it ends up being just near London there, so not a bad result. We get 4.4k there. Okay, next one here, and maybe be in a repeat. I don't think so, because it says Kerry here. That's probably the place name. Double yellows on the outside of the road would make me think of Britain and Ireland. We're driving left, which is also fits, but we have a white rear plate on all the cars here. So you'd have a yellow one in the UK, so it should be Ireland here. Other places where you see the double yellows, I'm pretty sure like Singapore and Hong Kong are the other two, basically. Maybe, yeah, I think that's about it, honestly. So yeah, then I think Kerry is just one of the bigger towns in Ireland, is it not? Where would it be? Maybe I was thinking of Kilkenny, but I'm pretty sure Kerry would also be decently sized. It's not in Northern Ireland, okay. I think I should search for this just because I have heard of the name before. I mean, I know it's like a common last name, but yeah, do we actually see it? I mean, I scanned the south side. I don't really see it, so I guess I'll just click middle for the now. For now, let's see if there's anything else we can actually use to get this round. We have .ie, which is of course Ireland. Yeah, I don't know. Kerry maybe is just a popular last name. I could have sworn I knew that was an actual place, but I think it's actually not. I think I was just misremembering. Anyway, we have quite significant hills there to our west though. So the hillier side is the west coast. So now I'm looking over here quickly. I see Kiel. I don't see Kerry. So I think I'm going just around. Well, it fell a bit more north. That hill was fairly bare. Didn't have many trees on it from what I can see. So I think I hedge it more north here and kind of just hope for the best. But yeah, that feels fairly correct. Anything else to say? We have another yellow sticker on the pole. That's quite British and Irish. So yeah, I think we'll just go. And it was actually all the way down here in Tralee. Yeah, okay, not too bad. We got the right country again on the right coast, but just fairly far away. Next one here, we're going to be somewhere in the country of Kyrgyzstan. We have Cyrillic here. We have this silver Google car. It's got like a circular blur at the front with this like kind of silver truck, and you can normally see some portion of the car inside the rearview mirror. Now, if you think the car is taking up about like 2/3 of the mirror, that's going to be more in the north of the country, just in the north half of the country. Whereas if it was covering up like 90% of the screen, then it would be, or of the rearview mirror, then it would be like in the southern half of the country, particularly around Osh and Jalalabad. So that's a good little tip for you. This one's a fairly generic one. The mountains are definitely tall here. And we have Lenin there. Interesting. Yeah, mountains both sides of us as well. So I kind of think around where I clicked here, Aral or something like that definitely makes sense. Otherwise, I could kind of see this like region over here, like inside the mountains at this point. But I'm not really sure. What does this road lead to? There's not really too much in the way of towns down here, but I could see like in the mountains over there as well. Anyway, I think I just click middle of the country here, and I think we get a good score. Anything else to say? I mean, architecture, like if we're not looking at Google Car here, we should normally see some red strips on the side of the plates. Unfortunately, no cars are nearby, so that does happen. They paint the pole bottoms white. It's like normally wintry like this as well. It's normally a very brown looking country. Let's go there. I think it's nearby. Yeah, and it was kind of, oh, it was in Narin. Yeah. I've definitely seen Narin. I've definitely seen rounds that look like that there, so that definitely makes sense. Okay, we're back in Britain again. Yellow rear plates and this kind of hedgerows and flat landscape, white road lines. Wow, a triple British Isles and Ireland seed here. This one's got .co.uk. When it's this flat, I would think of England, and I would think of like somewhere around like the Norwich kind of area, all the way up to Hull. Maybe this is like the flattest part. It often looks quite like Denmark, but obviously we have these hedgerows which kind of differentiate it a bit, and we have the number plates as well. I think I'll just go there. I kind of think we're around here, and it was up to York even, but yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's move on to the next round here, which is a fairly straightforward round again. This has been a fairly easy seed, I would say. Plenty of clues. We've got a very short number plate on the front here, and you can see it's got blue on both sides. Immediately, we can get the country from this. So, yeah, countries with blue on both sides of the plate in Europe are France, Italy, and Albania, and the only ones with short front license plates are Italy. In fact, this is one of the only short license plates in Europe. So you have like short front plates as well in Switzerland, but they're completely white. And you have short plates in San Marino, but they have no blue strips. And so, yeah, I guess that's basically it when it comes to short plates, right? And, well, I guess Monaco as well. Monaco also has short plates, but that is pretty much all you need to know for that. This feels quite... I want to say the architecture feels a bit more southern. We have, like, more solid color houses. And it's quite flat, so definitely somewhere on the boot could fit here. I don't know if it's actually all the way down there, or if it's just kind of like a flatter area up here. I kind of like Foggia kind of area here, I think. We do have place names here. SR88 is pretty findable, I think, but there's the 87. So hopefully we're in the decently right area here. Let's check up the road a bit for 88. We see 81. Yeah, I feel like we're in the good kind of area anyway, so I think I'll just leave my guess there. Anything else to say? That's just vibes. You get a lot of flatness in Po Valley here, so this still could be there. So I guess I should quickly check. I don't see any 88 off the bat anyway. But yeah, this could certainly still be up there. I just kind of thought, based on the trees and the architecture, that it was more southern, but, like, I'm not the best at Italian architecture, so we'll see if I'm wrong about that. It was just Po Valley. Okay, I kind of thought, as the round drew to a close, I kind of thought, oh, this SR, not SS, but I kind of thought that, you know, it would be up there, just because of the flatness. Like, if it's flat down here, it's generally quite, like, Mediterranean looking. If it's flat up here, it looks a bit more European, and yeah, I kind of misread the trees there a bit, but that's okay. 21,000 is not a bad score. You can see we were always kind of in the right area, but always not too close for the whole seed here. So, I think we should scroll down decently far here to see who's actually not done the best job, because this one was a fairly straightforward one. Many people above me on this one, indeed. I'm actually all the way down. Will I be past 100? That would be quite something. Surely I'm not. Okay, I'm 93. That was definitely not a good effort, but, you know, it's some difficult to region guess countries that are fairly straightforward to actually guess. So let's see here. We definitely had some good efforts here. I think we're actually going to look all the way down at the bottom here today, because this was a fairly straightforward seed, as I said. So we're going to look at Sim and Juka, and let's see how they went. So on the British ones, wow, we've got very disparate guesses here. So the first one was very rural. We had in Estonia, which does make sense. Hedgerows, though, you wouldn't see in Estonia. And then we had a middle of the United States. I feel like that was probably just not a lot of thought went behind that one, I guess, because that doesn't really make sense for the landscape, I would say. Middle of the US wouldn't be as green, not as many trees, and yeah, would be using yellow road lines rather than white ones. This round 4, everyone got, impressively. I think the yellow plates really helped out. The Irish round, we had 1 in Sheffield, just remembering that white rear plates equals Ireland when you're left-hand drive in Europe. The Kyrgyzstan gave them both issues. I think these are probably newer players based on these guesses because we had the Google car. So yeah, Mongolia would have like a much bigger Google car that's not silver. And then the Caucasus, none of them actually have coverage. You can only get Caucasus in Russia. So yeah, I think that is about it. The Italy, you guys both missed as well, but the number plate should help you out for next time. Just remembering the short front plate with the two blues. Okay, nice. Real world now. Let's try and redeem ourselves here because that wasn't the best ever round. And see what we got going on. So we have a blurred out card here with this kind of antenna. I think this is UAE, maybe Qatar. Um, the buildings, like, I feel like Qatar coverage is not very extensive, so you'd normally remember what it looks like, and this does not look like any Qatar round I knew about, but it can still be there. Of course, this is very rural, so it's not obvious at all to me. Although I feel like a lot of the times both cities have quite distinctive high rises, and I don't recognize any of these, which I do think that makes UAE more likely. But I could be wrong here. So let's try and remember now where the stubby antenna belongs. Which country actually has the stubby antenna? I'm gonna guess in UAE here, outside of Sharjah, and it was indeed, yeah, near Sharjah there. So that's a good start. Okay, the stubby antenna belongs, I believe, in the country of UAE. Okay, next one here, red dirt, a separated highway. I've had this round recently. Now, where was it? Separated highway is certainly interesting. Where did I guess and where actually was it? I cannot remember, to be honest. I think this should be like South America somewhere. We have no Google corridor, so I guess like Cambodia is still possible, something like that. We do have a motorbike, so yeah, maybe Cambodia. Other than that, I kind of thought of like Ecuador, but Ecuador normally doesn't have such red soil. So I guess maybe I am actually leaning Cambodia here somehow. Um, do we see anything that actually gives it away? I don't know. I've played this round before, but I do not remember what it ended up being. It almost looks like Ghana, but of course Ghana would have the Google car, and we do not have any Google car here. Wooden poles of some kind, I would say. Really interesting. Could it even be Europe? I don't think so. Too many palms to be Europe, I would say. It is a bit hilly. Yeah. Okay, I think I like Cambodia the best. Not seeing any Google car is weird. I think my second option, I think Brazil is quite unlikely, you know. So I think my second option would even be like Peru inland or like Ecuador, Colombia inland, maybe even Mexico or something. But no, I think I go Cambodia here. Definitely an interesting round though, so I guess we'll find out soon enough where this actually is. Not an easy one in my opinion, and it was just on the coast here. That makes sense why it felt a bit strange, because sometimes coastal rounds mess with the overall feel of a round, but yeah, it is just in the southwestern corner of Cambodia there. Next one here is similarly difficult. Will we see, I feel like we're going to see the Guatemala card when we turn around, will we? Yeah, we do here. So Guatemala here, I mean, we have this kind of squarish blow, which will help me out, but you can see that in quite a number of countries. For example, you can just randomly see it in the US as well. But we had this kind of pole, which just struck me as a bit strange. Not one that I necessarily recognized, but yeah. We had like a fairly poor quality road here with yellow in the dashes, so I kind of thought Americas. And then we have like sugarcane here, which you definitely do see growing in Guat. And then turning around here, we have the silver Google car. We have a little antenna here, which is more common in the west of Guatemala. I'm not exactly sure if that's where we're going to be, but presumably this is going to be in the deep south of the country or the far north. And I would say far north actually may be more likely. Reason being, we don't see many palms. We see like maybe one there. Most buildings here are not palms, and then also it's very flat. So flatness to the north and to the deep south. But this probably feels like more like this kind of area here. So maybe Flores kind of area could work. We are even going kind of northwest here. So yeah, I don't know exactly where I'd put this, but I think I'll just put it around there. Anything else to say here? I guess you could definitely learn where the sugarcane grows all around Guatemala. That could definitely help you get some good region guesses. But apart from the yellow dashes, this car, and the kind of landscape, there's not too much to this round, I think. It is just the south there, unfortunately. I was kind of expecting that we might be able to see those hills to the north, but I guess it wasn't the clearest day, so yeah, I guess that does make sense. And yeah, I guess we weren't that close to the water, and that's why we didn't have any palms, but I still kind of expected to probably see more there. Anywho, next one here, we got a yellow rear plate. So yellow plates in Europe. To recap, we've got the rear plates in Britain. We've got Netherlands, Luxembourg, the old plates in France, and then we have Israel, of course. And I guess that's about it. No, I think like I'm missing one, but I can't remember which one it is. So yeah, I guess like yeah, like utility vehicles in Denmark. So yeah, that's about it for that. As for this one, landscape is like I thought Britain off the bat, especially because it feels like I can't see a blue strip there, although I may actually be able to. I can definitely see France as well though, and Rural World is a map that's handpicked to be difficult. We have a hedgerow, so it's one of the two, almost certainly. And this car's more on the right hand side of the road, so I actually could be tempted for a France here, because otherwise, why would it not be? Well, let's actually analyze the blur here. The blur is definitely more on the right-hand side. There's more blur on the right than there is on the left, but only very marginally. It's about in the center of the road. This car, however, definitely on the right. Where does the driver look like they're sitting? Maybe on the left. So yeah, that would fit. I don't know. Like architecture definitely felt like it could be both countries to me. Landscape feels like both maybe a bit more French, but yeah, it's pretty marginal here. So I would go Northern France here, I think. We just have to trust that this is an old number plate, although it is a bit scary. I think, otherwise, why would he be on the right hand side of the road? That doesn't really make sense to me. So, yeah, I kind of feel good about France, to be honest. Let's see it here. And it was Luxembourg. Okay, why did I not consider Luxembourg after thinking France there? I do not know. But that definitely makes sense. I mean, at least it wasn't Britain, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't consider it. I thought the houses looked more French, but to be fair, like I couldn't get a very good view of them, and I didn't even consider it properly. So that was kind of strange that I mentioned it and then just did not consider it properly. But okay, next one here, we got like some concrete-ish poles here. We have no Google car this time at all. Once again, that's good fun. And we are looking at a fairly like, could it feel a bit Amazon-y or a little bit, definitely feels quite, tropical. Is this pole round or is it octagonal? Now I'm looking at like it's got like almost a divot in it that makes me think it might be a Mexican pole here. Especially the way this is wrapped around here almost reminds me of Mexico. Having no Google car at all in Mexico is rare, but it can happen. It can happen. This fence also feels pretty good for it. It's quite flat here. We don't see any rock walls, which you'd often see in the Yucatan Peninsula. But I could definitely see like a Tabasco Veracruz kind of hedge here working out quite nicely. This is another annoying round because there's no sun to work with here. Sun may appear to be like kind of up here, so yeah, we can't really use it to determine whether it's, with all these clouds, whether it's north or south hemisphere. We have like some palmish kind of, yeah, some palmish kind of like vegetation here, but it's not really as much as I would like to be able to feel confident about anything here. The road is kind of lighter. I kind of like that for Mexico as well, but yeah, it's really not that consistent. And I could easily still see this being Colombia. I could still see it even being Ecuador, or even Brazil is mildly possible here, I feel. Although I think Brazil is the least likely of the four. So yeah, I'll go for Mexico here. Let's see. And it was Mexico, but it was all the way in southern Campeche there. That's definitely a difficult round. 3.8 thousand. It's not a bad result. So I definitely think this one was definitely a lot harder than the first one. And ironically enough, we actually kind of got... We actually had a very similar score to the first round, so that's kind of interesting. But okay, Debray comes through with a nice win here. Let's see how he did. He actually messed up. He actually messed up the UAE and Qatar and still got everything. So obviously the Lux helped a lot. Got the right region of Cambodia and got the right region in these two. So that's pretty impressive, I would say. And he actually got the 5K here. Yeah, that's really impressive stuff. But okay, next up, let's take a look at some of the other scores here. So definitely, this one was the type of one where you might just miss the round a few times, and yeah, that definitely makes sense. Was not one of the only ones to get Qatar there? I mean UAE there. Seems like Debray missed, but a lot of the other people at the top. Okay, a lot of the other people at the top did succeed. It's just like halfway down you start to see a lot of people missing it. And I would select someone with about 12,000 score here. So let's go for United, Richie, and Shanked and see how these two did on the round. So Guatemala, they both got one similar guess to me, one in the middle of the hills, which doesn't really make sense, but you could just hedge it there, so that kind of is fine. The other one, they both went Baltic. Now that is very interesting to me. So in this round here, we had those like palms, those kind of small palms inside the field. You would never see such a thing in most of Europe, and certainly not in the Baltics. So that's definitely good to keep in mind. Also, Baltics in Generation 3 will always have like a short antenna as well. So you can, if you're using Meta, that can definitely help you out. Two British guesses here for Luxembourg are fully understandable. I think just paying attention to where the car was on the road did help, but I can understand going Britain there, honestly. Like, even with that, it still felt quite British. So, yeah, and then the Lux I also missed, so, you have to say that. Both of them getting UAE, impressively, because that wasn't an easy round. And then the Cambodia, they both missed as well. So let's see, they took one to Brazil, understandable, both to Brazil, actually. So Acre and Minas Gerais there. I understand both guesses. That kind of separated highway is quite rare in Brazil, especially outside of Sao Paulo, I think. But yeah, you do see them, and yeah, it did kind of look Brazilian. The motorbike was definitely looking more Southeast Asian. You see many more there than in Brazil, but hey, Accra is still full of motorbikes, and you do see them a lot in the Northeast as well, I would say. So yeah, well played to both. I mean, the Mexican one was definitely hard, but gettable. The Brazilian one I can forgive because I wasn't quite sure either. So yeah, well played to everyone here. I mean, it's interesting how both players making the similar mistakes on each round. So there is good logic. You don't have to feel alone when you make these mistakes. And also, every mistake you make is a learning experience. So, and that's really the case with GeoGuessr especially. So, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm going to sign off now and see you tomorrow. So don't forget to tell me how you did, and like, subscribe. Bye-bye.